Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Rob, your local problematic Leo, and today on Dress to Kill, we are finally taking a look at the Ember Heirloom collection. Now, what's cool about this bundle is that there's multiple ways you can actually pick this up as opposed to the previous Heirloom collection. You can go ahead and drop a little bit of cold hard cash, I believe it's $24.99, and you get everything that you see here plus 425 platinum. In addition to that, you can buy it as the bundle for 400 platinum, or you can actually pick each item up piecemeal if you wanted to, if there's just certain things that don't necessarily resonate with you. But as you can see, the bundle includes the Signa, the skin, the heirloom palette, which I'm going to tell you right now is kind of absolutely gorgeous. Maybe we'll take a closer look at that later in the video. We have a glyph, the heirloom sigil, which is nice as well, and the Prex card. Are we collecting those? I mean, I'm sure they're there. I feel like I should be collecting them, but I have not. Anyway, without ado, let's get dressed. Now, as always, we kick things off with a little bit of disclaimer. You can find all of the color codes for these customizations down in the description box below. R stands for row, C stands for column, and the palette name will be in there as well. I'm sure you can figure the rest out. Now, before we actually jump in and discuss the look, I did want to give you guys a little bit of a troubleshooting tip when it comes to the color customization, specifically for the energy effect, as that is one of the most prevalent features of this skin. Now, as you can see, Miss Ember Heirloom has like this kind of like galaxy-ish effect that's like swirling around in her body. Now, for the best case use of this, listen, it's really late and the verbiage isn't quite there. We're gonna start off with the Energy 1 effect. As you guys know, I have it like labeled from like left to right. So Energy 1, I would highly suggest not going too light with this, mainly because of the fact that it kind of removes all of the detail. Now, listen, it's going to be your look, so do with it as you wish. But as you can see right here, when I increase the lightness of this tone, you get a lot of glow, but you don't really get too many of the particle effects. It almost like washes it out completely. So I highly suggest going a little bit deeper. So as you can see, as we drop it down, you start seeing more texture on the inside. The same thing kind of goes for Energy 2. For this one, I mean, you can definitely go like a lot lighter and still retain some of that, but I kind of like the depth that it gives, and kind of like the more like shadowy parts of the galaxy pop out a little bit more. But if you did want more of the freckling, you could go a little bit lighter and it wouldn't absolutely kill it. Listen, I'm not doing this part for the views. I'm just kind of like displaying a nice swath of the starry effect. So, you know, pick and choose which one you like better. I like the shading, and I do like to do two different colors to contrast it. Now, let's turn this baby around, and we're actually going to talk about the skin itself. It's really, really gorgeous. There are certain parts that are a little bit tricky to customize. Like, I think the tertiary, it's got this weird blend on it that I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of. But, you know, here we are with classic Rob. We've got some burgundy going on. We've got some C3, R3 rose gold in there. Now, as you guys can see, I am doing a couple different things here. First and foremost, I am using the heirloom sigil that is right up on her chest. I've actually replaced the usual Unity sigil that I'm using with that. And the other thing that I did was I didn't want to necessarily use a ephemera that was going to be way too over the top, so I figured that the shard hex one, where you can kind of like get it bursting through the chest and then it's like through the ephemera, is absolutely gorgeous. As you can see here, I am also using the Ember Heirloom shoulder pads. I am not using the chest. I do like the chest, but it does something weird and like manta ray-y. You know, it kind of like flails out to the side, which, you know what, if I'm going to be honest with you, is not the worst look in the world. Number one, it looks great with the Ember Prime arm flaps. I think it works well, but just these like little weird like manta ray like pointy out things I don't absolutely love. So I did go ahead and choose to keep this just a little bit more simple since it is our first starting look. I also really, really love, this is what I call like the weird ghost spirity energy color that I absolutely love, and it kind of like mixes in with the shard hex ephemera, so it's nice and simple. What kind of does suck about this though is you can't really like zoom out to see the what do you call this, the Signa, because the Signa is really, really pretty. You can kind of see it there, and maybe I'll do a little bit of a quick walk. It's gonna look weird, mainly because of the fact that we've got weapons, and I did not color code the weapons to match. I'm so sorry, you guys. But here we are. Let's see if we can take a better look at it. Oh, it's very, very beautiful. I absolutely love it. It just kind of sucks because I do feel like it floats a little bit higher than the rest of the Signas. I've tried it on different Warframes and it does not necessarily drop down as far as I would like it to. But you know what? We are here now and this is what we've got, and I think it's really gorgeous. Oh my god, look at the detail on the heels. I love the heel details, a little fire at the end of it. Oh, it's so, so freaking pretty. Now, let's go ahead into look number 2, which, if we're going to talk about it, this is a very, like, Rob look, right? We've got some burgundy. We've got a little bit of that contrasting jade. It's all really rich. This is also another look that you guys have seen me do. Plus, you know, we love a little bit of a flip on the play of color where we have Ember as fire. We do have a cooler version of her as well. Of course, I love me a good old-fashioned rose metallic. And I'm kind of sort of, like, absolutely enchanted with the new attachments that I picked up from Tenno Gen. So these are the Curternia? Listen, I'm not going to say it right, but these are the new ones that I picked up from Tenno Gen. You see the name on the screen, and I think it looks absolutely beautiful. I do have the Sapphire Ephemera on there. We're actually going to go ahead and take that down so that you guys can see the look just a little bit better, so it's not as in your face. I actually love the white stone look on it. Again, they're doing some really, really great texturing here so that it almost looks like a literal, like, what is it called? Sculpture, right? So it looks very Look at that helmet. Oh, so freaking pretty. Absolutely love it. And then one of the things that I did is, you notice, no SANDR. I actually love this fiery collar that they've got put on her. And I thought that what better than to put an ephemera on there and then have the flames pop out of it. Now, you could go ahead and do the heirloom one. Let's go ahead and swap that out real quick. If I can find it, you guys know I'm terrible. Oh my god. Heirloom. There you go. Look, I looked it up for you guys. So, oh, maybe you can't see it as well. I guess it's got its own energy effect. It's a little intense, so you probably, unless you make it big, it's not going to show up. But, you know, just play around with it. I'm sure there's a bunch of different sigils that you can place there that'll look really, really good with it. But for me, I just am so into this kind of like monochromatic. And you'll notice I do that a lot with this skin, mainly because of the fact that I feel like a lot of the colors are just there's too much going on. We got to pare it down a little bit and really just play with the texture. And when you have textures this good, you just kind of let it run, right? While we're here, actually, one of the things that I do want to put out there is I'm currently using the Gara Noble animations on her, mainly to like show it off, because as much as I love it, and it's the one that I will be using, Mirage Noble, kind of like, it's got the attitude. That's what she's going to be going into. I just love the way that it sits. However, the only issue for me for this one is that you don't get to see as much, you know, customization. So we got to put out a little bit of the Gara Noble. There's a lot of great animations that'll work well with this too. Even the Garuda Noble. It's a great skin and it just looks absolutely fantastic. Let's go ahead and toss on. You know what? While we're here, because I think that this would actually also be a great look with it, we'll take a look at how the Protovire fits in with it. Even the Protovire is kind of nice. It's very subtle. You guys know that I don't necessarily like going too crazy big with the Protovire because it gets too much, and it covers up all of the beautiful, wonderful, like, galaxy shit that's going on right there. So maybe we won't do that. Let's just slap on the Sapphire. We'll get everything a little dusty again. I love it. I love the combination of the smoky dusts along with the fire. It's kind of, you know, it just adds to the effect. Bonuses the effect. Enhances. That's where we're going for. Let's go ahead and take a look at the last look. Now, the last look, I'm going to warn you, I did two very standard Rob looks. The last one, I really wanted to get into my magical girl, also kind of superhero-y bag, and we'll explore that a little bit further. So let's go in where I decided to go all in. So Rob is still doing Rob things, but I really wanted to do all the things. As many of you guys know, I have been itching, absolutely itching to use the Catena Prime Ephemera. Is it Catena or is it just Catena? This thing, okay, I love it because of the fact that it kind of gives this weird like discolored sunspot kind of effect, and I just love the way it like almost singes the skin and it kind of like blurs out the color. We'll take it off and we're gonna put on another one, which I call like the magical girl variation of this. We're gonna go ahead and drop in the Conquest Ephemera. Now this gives a whole nother vibe. As you can see, we've gone blue with this. We've gone this rich, deep navy and kind of like just put some softer golds on there. But as you can see right now, one of the things that I absolutely love with the Conquest Ephemera, because we're actually attaching, I don't know, remember what the SANDR name is going to be. It's the Stella Flare. The Stella Flare SANDR, right? I love how the Conquest Ephemera wraps around the SANDR, but the SANDR is also emitting these flames, which are not the same effect as the one that we have on Ember Prime. It kind of bugs me a little bit, but I don't know, I just love the kind of like wrapping and ribboning, and then you merge that with the Oscura, armor, or, oh my god, Arnists. Wow, what am I even talking about? There is an armor set that is called that, but it's the Oranist armor set. I love the draping. It just feels very extra, almost mage-like, but also like, I don't know, very magical girl. We have always come in, as you can see, we're using the ephemera to almost create this frame around the center area, which of course is going to be the Unity sigil. I always do the Unity sigil. For those of you guys who are wondering, you can pick that up through Conclave. And so this is the way that I like to run with it. However, this is a lot. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other SANDRs. Of course, we're going to use a Rencal because it matches, and I think it looks nice. I definitely think that it looks nice. I think it looks better if we're running the other ephemera. But as you can see, if you really want to live your full Fire Mage life, you can do that. Hold on. Let's give it the full effect real quick. No, not the Signas. Hey. Catena. Like this with the Rencal. Oh my god, the fire with the Ren. Look, it's like collar on collar. It's absolutely beautiful. You guys know how I feel about this. We'll go ahead and toss the Conquest back because we are going to take a look at, of course, I have to plug my own shit. Because Officium looks great with everything. It really, tell me. With the Conquest Ephemera, that doesn't look absolutely beautiful and wonderful. If you're not looking to try to do too much, it just sits. It just sits well, and, you know, for everybody who's concerned about it, you get a good ass shot. So, we are here, and this is my third look. This is probably my favorite of the bunch, just because it's very, very off the wall for me. So, that about does it for the looks. Let's go ahead and do a couple more discussions, because there's a couple things that I really do want to actually cover when it comes to this. The heirloom palette for this one, gorgeous. Absolutely flippin' gorgeous. If you have not taken a close look at it, you get these really beautiful kind of like peachy tones right here, and when you lighten it up, it kind of gives this like soft, almost like bone kind of finish. Now, for anybody who doesn't necessarily want to walk around looking like a Skittle, these are still Skittle-esque, but they're a little bit more pared back so that they're not so much in your face, right? So they can kind of give this washed out, really bright kind of like orangey coral look. You can still get all those vibes. You still get the sunny yellows, which are great for energy effects, but take a look at this pink. It's like a soft dusty pink. I absolutely like love it. It still does lean a little orange. It's still got a little of that like hint of coralness on there, but take a look at these neutrals down here. Oh my god, these are so freaking useful. These are so useful. Look at how light that gets. That is actually a really, really beautiful soft brown. You get some other like cool tone browns here as well, which are absolutely beautiful. And then you get some really deep, almost black ones. So an absolutely fantastic palette. If you guys, are thinking of just picking this up piecemeal and not necessarily getting the whole set, get the palette too, because it is an absolute banger. I'm wondering, do I want to do some things? One last thing, because as you can see, I am on Ember right now instead of Ember Prime. So let's go ahead and take a look. I do have this loaded up on Ember Prime, but we're actually gonna go into my final customization. I still love this customization, and I don't necessarily want to mess with it. But let's try the Ember Heirloom helmet on it. So it doesn't pick up the textures quite as well. I do kind of like how that eye sits there in the fire, though. That's kind of pretty. So let's toss back the Majesty helmet. I wonder if it's gonna do anything weird here. Don't be too weird. Please don't be too weird. Oh, that's kind of nice too. I don't hate that. I mean, I'm glad that it all worked out. And you can kind of see what I was talking about earlier when it comes to energy effects. If the primary energy is too light, it will wash out the texture that's on the inside of it. I don't think I want to mess around with it too much more. But you can kind of see how that kind of fits, that kind of sits with the customization. I don't know. Listen, I gotta have a plainer one just so that it doesn't go too crazy. Anyway, that does about do it for me for now. Let me know which looks you guys liked the most when it came to the Ember Heirloom set. Let me know if you guys have any other questions or if there's anything else that you would like to see when it comes to Dress to Kills. But yeah. That about does it for me for now. Please feed the algorithm down below. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.